Pierre Poilievre is back at it again, absolutely going off on the Liberals over their failed policies, their broken promises, lack of a trade deal with Trump, etc., etc., etc. So I got a clip here. I'm just going to show a little bit of this for you guys, a back and forth between Pierre and Steve McKinnon. Now, before we do get into this, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help grow the channel. And I appreciate you guys so much for doing that for me. So let's have a look, and we'll talk about it.
Promised Canadians to, and I quote, negotiate a victory. He promised have a deal by July 21st, 2025. Still no deal, still no victory. And American tariffs have actually doubled. But today the Prime Minister made his biggest concession of all. He promised to push $1 trillion of investment out of Canada into the United States of America, which will drive down Canadian wages and Canadian jobs. Why is it when the Prime Minister goes for lunch at the White House, it's Canadian workers on the menu?
That's right.
That's right. And then you're about to see Steve McKinnon just have a complete meltdown, temper tantrum, and that's when you know that Pierre's doing good, because when you see the Liberals flip out and start screaming, just like their supporters do, you know you're getting to them. And they're feeling the pressure because they know they don't have anything done yet. Their promises are their promises. They keep making the same ones, and yet they just keep saying it's going to happen, it's coming soon, we will be doing this, and then nothing happens.
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister and his colleagues are at the White House today, advancing Canada's interests, advancing Canada's trade interests, advancing our interests in foreign policy generally. And I know that the hopes of all Canadians accompany our Prime Minister to those meetings, where he will very, very clearly defend the rights of Canadian workers and of the Canadian economy. I sure hope the Leader of the Opposition is among those Canadians.
Okay, so my bad. It's this exchange where Steve McKinnon starts to freak out, but you can see, him raising his voice at the end. He's not very happy with Pierre, and Pierre's going to continue to get after him.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The Prime Minister casually said, and I quote, $500 billion in the last 5 years alone of Canadian investment has left to the U.S. And he said probably $1 trillion in the next 5 years if we get the agreement that we expect to get. Wow. In other words, he made a massive $1 trillion concession before the deal was even signed, and without getting anything in return. $1 trillion of exit investment means closing mines and factories in Canada and opening them in the U.S. Why did the Prime Minister sell out our workers on his visit to Washington?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Speaker, we do not need Donald Trump's permission to open mines and roads and infrastructure in Canada. That's exactly what we're going to be doing, is building Canada with Canadian labor, Canadian steel, Canadian aluminum, and Canadian lumber. If he's referring to the Maple 8, the pension funds that Canadians are so proud of and invest in, who invest all over the world and take their profits back to Canada to pay Canadian pensions, well, I say bring that on too, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
This government has already admitted that we have a problem with Canadian pension money leaving Canada to create jobs in other countries. They even created a Brookfield-run program to bring it back. But today, the Prime Minister promised the President that Canadian government policies would drive $1 trillion out of our economy into the American economy over the next 5 years. That is twice as bad as has happened in the last half-decade. This means lost jobs and lower wages for Canadians who already can't pay their bills. Again, why did the Prime Minister sell out Canadian workers in his visit to Washington?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
You know what Canadians feel when they see the Prime Minister and ministers in the Oval Office defending Canada? Mr. Speaker, they feel pride. They feel pride that this Prime Minister...
You guys feel proud right now? Did you see their meeting? I'll show you a little clip of it after this, but I'll show you how elbows up markcarney was today.
Standing up for our country, standing up for our workers, standing up for our steel industry, and these crazy hair-eyed schemes that the Leader of the Opposition comes up with just to get in the news cycle are quite frankly a little embarrassing.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, all the hyperventilating in the world will not change the fact that the Prime Minister casually said in the Oval Office today, he bragged that $500 billion Canadian investment dollars have left for the States in the last 5 years, and then promised that $1 trillion more will leave in the next 5 years. That'll mean mines closing in Quebec and opening in Pennsylvania. It'll mean mills closing in BC and opening in Washington State, factories closing in Ontario and going to Michigan. Why is it that the Prime Minister sells out Canadian workers, Canadian jobs, and Canadian investments in the White House?
Good question.
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we have said all along that Canada will look after its own people with our own projects, our own...
They've done such a great job in the past 10 years looking out for us. Why would you believe them now? Well, the reason is because a lot of people, especially young people and boomers, not all boomers, of course, decided that the Liberal Party had a Trudeau problem. And then when Trudeau was gone, they said, okay, it's safe to vote Liberal again. They got this nice old man who was apparently going to be elbows up with Trump and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But yet, already, about 6 months after Carney won the election, you see the polls flipping already. Why? Because there's been nothing done. They keep talking about these tax breaks that they've given Canadians, but yet Canadians' number one issue by far is cost of living and affordability. So that tax break didn't seem to help too much. But I keep saying this is what they want. They don't want to give you what they should be giving you, which is delivering the best country for us to live in. They want you to have the crumbs off the table, own nothing, and be happy.
Own labor, our own material. We'll be opening mines. We'll be opening ports.
We will be in the future.
We'll be opening our Arctic. We are going to continue to build this country and get a fair, good trade deal for Canada, and it'll be thanks to this Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker.
I mean, it's just, we will do this, we will do that, we will, we promise, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I did tell you that I would show a little clip, and this is just 16 seconds. It's from Mark Carney. It says, President Trump and I know that there are areas where our nations can compete, the areas where we will be stronger together. We're focused on building these new opportunities. Okay, let's have a look here. Look at the smiles. Look at those good buddies. With the nice music so you can't hear what they're saying. You know why that music's over? Because here's what Mark Carney said right as he's shaking Trump's hand. He then says to him, see that red tie he's got on? He goes, I wore red just for you. Smile on his face, shaking hands. Where's the elbows? I thought you were supposed to be tough on Donald Trump. I wore red just for you, sir. Best friends. And this apparently is going to be the guy to get the best deal done. And I can't wait until that deal does happen. And then the liberals and the media spin it to where it's, hey, this is such a good deal for us. Now, if it actually is, then fair enough. But let's be honest. We all know it won't be, because that's not Mark Carney's agenda. His agenda is to finish what Trudeau was too stupid to finish himself.